You ever notice how every save money tip online sounds like a punishment? Stop buying coffee, cancel Netflix, live with your parents until you're 40. Yeah, sounds fun. Look, if saving money feels like torture, you are not going to stick with it. That is just how human beings work. The whole deprive yourself until you reach financial freedom idea is a great way to make sure you give up by next Tuesday. Here is the real problem. Most people think saving money means cutting out everything they enjoy. They assume the only way to build wealth is to live like a monk, never eat out, never travel, never buy anything nice. But that mindset is exactly why they never make progress. Because saving money is not supposed to feel miserable. It is supposed to feel freeing. It is supposed to make your life easier, not emptier. And today, we are going to fix that. My name is Michael, and I help people understand money the way school never did. No lectures, no guilt, no spreadsheets that make you question your will to live. Just the truth about how money actually works and how to keep more of it without feeling like you are punishing yourself for existing. All right, let us talk about how to actually save money and still have a life. Point 1. Stop trying to be perfect. Here is the thing. Most people fail at saving because they set rules that are impossible to follow. They go from spending freely to, I'm going to save 50% of my income starting Monday. And by Thursday, they're at a restaurant ordering appetizers like they have just been released from financial prison. It is not that people are weak. It is that their plan was doomed from the start. Real life does not run on perfect budgets. You have birthdays, emergencies, friends inviting you out last minute. If your system collapses every time you get an invite, it is not a good system. Saving money works when it is sustainable, not when it is extreme. Here's what actually works. Consistency beats perfection. You could save $50 a week for years and end up better off than the person who saves $500 once, burns out, and gives up. The emotional consequence? When you set impossible rules, you start associating saving with failure. And the punchline? You quit. Start small, win early, make progress feel normal, not painful. Point 2. Separate fun from impulse. Most people do not actually overspend on fun, they overspend on random. You know what I mean. The I deserve this purchases at Target or Amazon that you forget about 2 days later. That is not fun. That is stress disguised as shopping. Fun spending is intentional. It is booking a trip you have wanted for months. It is dinner with friends. It is buying that jacket you will actually wear for years. Impulse spending is chaotic. It is what happens when your brain is trying to feel better for 5 minutes. Here's the trick. Keep fun money in your budget, but name it. Give it a number and call it what it is. Guilt-free spending. When you budget for joy, you do not have to feel bad about it. You can save aggressively and still enjoy life because the fun is planned, not impulsive. Here is where it gets interesting. Most people do not overspend because they love stuff. They overspend because they are trying to escape boredom, stress, or pressure. Fix that and you will save money naturally. Point 3. Automate your discipline. If you rely on willpower to save money, you have already lost. Think about it. Every single month, you are asking yourself to make the responsible choice over and over again. That is exhausting. You know what is easier? Never having the choice in the first place. Set up automatic transfers to your savings or investment account the day you get paid. Do not wait to see what is left, because, spoiler, there never is anything left. When saving happens automatically, it stops being emotional. It is just something that happens in the background. No decision fatigue, no guilt. You start to live on what is left, and that is when saving becomes effortless. The emotional consequence of not doing this? You will keep telling yourself you will save next month, but next month never shows up. Point 4. Redefine saving. Here's the part nobody talks about. Saving money is not just about piling cash in a bank account. It is about not losing money on stupid things. Every time you avoid paying interest, late fees, or overpriced nonsense, you are saving. You are not missing out. You are keeping what is yours. But we do not treat it that way. People brag about buying something on sale like they won the lottery. I saved $50 on these shoes. No, you spent $150. You did not save anything. The real flex is walking away and spending zero. Saving is not always visible. It is the trip you do not book on a credit card. The gadget you do not buy because your old one works fine. The car you keep driving because it still runs perfectly. That is invisible saving, and it compounds faster than you think. Point 5. Make saving rewarding, not restrictive. Here's where most people go wrong. They make saving feel like punishment. They cut out everything that makes life enjoyable and then wonder why they cannot stick with it. Your brain is wired for rewards. If saving feels like deprivation, your brain will rebel. So, flip the script. Make saving feel good. Create visual progress. Track your savings in a way you can see. Use an app, a chart, or even an old-school thermometer-style tracker. Every milestone should feel like a win. Or build small rewards into your goals. Save $500 this month? Treat yourself to a nice dinner. Hit a new savings record? Take a weekend off. Saving is not about never spending. It is about spending better. When saving feels like progress instead of punishment, it becomes addictive in a good way. Point 6. Destroy lifestyle creep before it destroys you. This is the silent killer of wealth. Every time you get a raise, your expenses rise with it. New job, nicer car, promotion, bigger apartment, bonus, upgraded vacation. And you still feel broke. It is like financial quicksand. The more you earn, the deeper you sink. Here is what is wild. You could double your income and still save nothing if your spending doubles too. The fix? When your income goes up, pretend it did not, at least for a few months. Save or invest the difference. Keep your lifestyle steady until your savings catch up. The emotional consequence of ignoring this is brutal. You will always feel behind, no matter how much you earn. And that is the kind of misery no raise can fix. Point 7. Focus on big wins instead of micro-sacrifices. Cutting lattes will not make you rich. Fixing your housing, car, or food costs might. This is the part nobody tells you. Small sacrifices are fine, but big ones change your life. If your rent is half your income, that is not a coffee problem. If your car payment is $800, skipping brunch will not save you. Look at the top 3 expenses in your budget: housing, transportation, and food. Those are the levers that actually move the needle. Negotiate your rent, refinance your car, cook more. Each of those decisions saves hundreds, not nickels. The punchline? It is way easier to make one big change than 50 small ones. Point 8. Stop saving for something, save from something. Most people only save for goals, a trip, a house, retirement. That is fine, but it is not the whole picture. Start saving from things too. Save from stress. Save from panic when your car breaks down. Save from the feeling of being one paycheck away from disaster. When you think about saving as protection instead of punishment, it stops feeling restrictive. It feels powerful. Money does not just buy stuff. It buys peace of mind. It buys time, options, and freedom from desperation. That is what you are really saving for. Point 9. Build a no-stress budget. Traditional budgets are like diets. They look great on paper and fall apart in real life. A no-stress budget focuses on flexibility, not control. It is not about tracking every dollar. It is about knowing your priorities. Here's how it works. Start with 3 simple categories: essentials, goals, and fun. Essentials are the stuff that keeps your life running: rent, bills, groceries. Goals are savings, debt payments, and investments. Fun is everything else, guilt-free spending. Once you assign your income into those 3 buckets, you are done. You do not need 12 color-coded spreadsheets. The benefit? You know exactly where your money is going without obsessing over it. It is simple enough to actually follow, which means it works. Point 10. Learn to tolerate enough. This is where most people get stuck. They are not broke. They are just restless. Every time they reach a goal, they move the goalpost. More, more, more. And ironically, that is what keeps them from ever feeling wealthy. The truth is, you cannot save money if you are constantly chasing upgrades, because upgrades never end. Learn to recognize enough space, enough clothes, enough gadgets. When you hit enough, you stop needing to buy happiness, and that is when saving becomes effortless. You do not have to stop wanting nice things. You just have to stop believing that buying them will fix anything. Here is where it gets deep. The happiest savers are not the ones with the most money. They are the ones who finally stop needing more of it to feel okay. Point 11. Stop comparing your wallet to other people's highlights. This might be the hardest part of saving money in the age of social media. You are scrolling, seeing your old classmate in Italy, your coworker in a brand new kitchen, someone you barely know showing off their dream car. And suddenly your perfectly fine life feels like a disappointment. So you start spending to catch up, not because you want those things, but because you do not want to feel behind. But here is the thing. You are comparing your entire financial reality to someone else's filtered highlight reel. You are seeing their after photo without knowing the before, the credit card debt, the family help, the zero savings account hiding behind the palm tree photo. You cannot save money if you are constantly trying to keep up with people who are probably broke themselves. The emotional consequence? You will end up owning things you do not even like, bought with money you did not have, to impress people who do not care. The punchline: real wealth is quiet. Real peace does not need proof. You want to feel rich? Delete half your social media follows. Point 12. Use friction to your advantage. Here is something nobody tells you. Convenience is expensive. Everything that makes spending easy makes saving hard. One-click checkout, tap to pay. Subscriptions that renew quietly in the background. Modern life is designed to make your money leave faster than you can think. So if you want to save more, make spending slightly harder. Remove your card from online stores. Turn off auto-renew. Keep your savings in a separate account that is not linked to your main debit card. Create small speed bumps that force you to pause. That 3-second delay is sometimes all it takes for your brain to ask, do I actually want this? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. Saving does not just happen from discipline. It happens from design. You do not need to be perfect. You just need systems that make good decisions easier and bad ones inconvenient. Point 13. Buy once, cry once. There is a difference between being frugal and being foolish. Frugal is buying something quality that lasts. Foolish is buying the cheapest thing, replacing it 3 times, and pretending you saved money. Here is the rule. Buy once, cry once. That means spending a little more upfront on things that genuinely last longer and perform better. A well-made coat that lasts 10 years is cheaper than buying a new one every winter. A reliable car that needs fewer repairs saves you thousands in the long run. Good shoes might cost more, but they save your back and your bank account later. Saving is not about denying yourself everything nice. It is about buying intentionally, spending more sometimes so you can spend less overall. If you are always chasing cheap, you will spend your whole life replacing. Quality feels expensive once, regret feels expensive forever. Point 14. Know your financial triggers. Saving money is not just about numbers, it is about psychology. You do not just spend money because you need things. You spend because you are bored, tired, stressed, or lonely. Most people's bank accounts are emotional diaries. The best savers are not just disciplined. They are self-aware. They know their triggers. They notice patterns. Maybe your weakness is food delivery after 8 p.m. Maybe it is browsing online when you cannot sleep. Maybe it is social media ads convincing you that you are one purchase away from having your life together. Identify the pattern, then interrupt it. Replace the habit with something that gives the same relief without the financial hangover, like a walk, a playlist, or calling a friend. Saving money gets easy when spending stops being emotional. Point 15. Use relative savings to stay motivated. Here's a mental trick that actually works. Stop thinking about savings as abstract numbers. Make it relative. If you save $500, you did not just save $500. You bought yourself 5 fewer hours of stress next month. If you cancel a $100 subscription, you did not lose entertainment. You gained an extra $100 to invest, which could become $1,000 over time. Every saved dollar has a job. Give it one. When you connect savings to outcomes, freedom, time, options, it stops feeling like deprivation. You are not cutting back. You are buying peace. Saving for later is abstract. Saving so you can quit the job you hate sooner is concrete. Point 16. Build your boring wealth muscle. Most people think wealth building should feel exciting, fast gains, hot stocks, flashy investments. But the people who quietly build real wealth are bored out of their minds. They automate, they diversify, they stay consistent. Their strategy is basically do nothing dramatic for 20 years. And that is exactly why it works. People confuse excitement with progress. They jump from one financial trend to another, chasing the high of getting ahead. But wealth is not built on adrenaline. It is built on repetition. Saving consistently, investing regularly, and ignoring the noise is the formula. If your money routine feels boring, congratulations. That is the point. Point 17. Replace guilt with curiosity. Here's something most people never do when they overspend. They ask why. They just feel guilty and move on until it happens again. But guilt does not teach you anything. Curiosity does. Next time you blow your budget, instead of saying, "I am terrible with money," ask, "What was I trying to feel when I did that?" That question replaces shame with awareness. Once you understand the why, the behavior becomes optional. Guilt drains energy. Curiosity builds control. Point 18. Make saving visible in daily life. Out of sight, out of mind, that is why most people forget about saving. Your brain needs feedback to stay motivated, so give it some. Track your progress in a visual way, a chart, an app, or a whiteboard on your fridge. Watch the line move up. Each milestone matters. Visual progress keeps your brain hooked. You are not chasing numbers. You are chasing the streak. That feeling of progress starts spilling into other areas of your life. You start thinking, if I can save this much, what else can I do? Momentum builds quietly, and it changes everything. Point 19. Understand the enough curve. There is this invisible curve most people never notice until it is too late. At first, spending makes you happier. You buy something new, you feel good. But at some point, every extra dollar buys you less happiness. That is the enough curve. Before the curve, money increases joy. After it, money only increases maintenance. If you do not recognize that curve, you will keep chasing happiness past the point where money can deliver it. Knowing where enough is helps you stop at the sweet spot. Comfortable, not compulsive. Point 20. Build a life you do not need to escape from. If saving money feels like suffering, it is not about the money. It is about the life you are trying to escape. People spend the most when they are unhappy. They spend to distract themselves, to reward themselves, to forget themselves. But if you build a life that feels meaningful, simple, and aligned, saving becomes easy because you do not need to constantly buy relief. You are not saving for later. You are saving from a place of calm now. Because a happy person does not need to buy happiness. They already have it, and that is the ultimate financial advantage. So here is the shift. Saving money without feeling miserable is not a punishment plan. It is a protection plan. It is not about squeezing pennies out of your life. It is about squeezing stress out of your life. You build systems that run in the background so you do not rely on daily willpower. You cut waste, not joy. You focus on the big levers first, so one decision buys you months of peace. You keep fun in the budget on purpose, so you do not binge spend out of resentment. You design friction that turns impulse into a pause, and a pause into a better choice. You decide what enough looks like for you, so upgrades stop steering your life. Most important, you build a life you like, so money is not a bandage for a wound you never treat. Look, you do not have to look rich. You need to stop being stressed. The calm you want is not on a shelf in a store. It is in the choices you make this week. Automate one transfer. Name one fund. Add one piece of friction. Improve one of the big three. Track one number. In a few months, you will notice something strange. Saving feels easy. Spending feels intentional. Your account balances grow quietly while your anxiety shrinks, and you will wonder why nobody explained it like this before.